These hands, I remember. The first time they picked up a drink, I was with my friends sitting in a bar, across from the finest man I had ever seen, like a picture in one of my dreams. He was interested in me, and he wanted to know my name. He wanted to know my favorite drink. So I said, whatever you're having. And he brought it for me. And we drank, and we drank, and we drank. And it seemed like so much fun. But then days and weeks and months passed. Hurtful words, arguments, and deceits exchanged between the two of us. Until he decided that he didn't want to buy me drinks anymore. Things in my life seemed so hard. And I can't remember when. But one day, I realized that when these hands brought the drinks to my lips, it wasn't fun anymore. And I didn't just drink just because I was mad or sad or upset, but I drank as a way of life, just to survive. Now, my friends are gone, and I stand alone with nothing but a bottle in these hands. How can I stop these hands? These hands, I remember. The first time they picked up a drink, I was with my friends sitting in a bar, across from the finest man I had ever seen. Like a picture.
These hands. Mama told me when I was a little boy that one day I would have to decide for myself what I would allow these hands to do. Use your hands to glorify God, she would always say. And I did for a while. But time, life, friends, and poor decisions, fleshly lust, used up all my money, stole away my dreams, and led me away until I couldn't recognize what it meant to glorify God anymore. So one day, these hands wrapped around a gun and hurt innocent people so I can steal their valuable jewels and property from them. And now, these hands are identified by a number given to inmates at the state penitentiary. I am so ashamed of these hands. The guilt of what I've done hurts me every day. I can see the shame that I've brought upon my family in their faces. And as much as I would like to erase what had happened, for all the things that these hands could do, they can't undo anything they've already done. How can I receive forgiveness for these hands?
These hands, they have written things I never thought I'd write. Prideful, hurtful, explicit things. First it was email, then Facebook, then Twitter, Instagram, and now I'm even texting this stuff. Lies, slander, pictures of myself that I know are not pleasing to God or respectful of myself. It's like I feel so much better about myself when others pay attention to me and think I'm important. I feel so much better about myself when I show them how other people are messed up. I guess I think that if I point at other people, maybe people won't notice how messed up I am. I've heard so many people disappointed my parents so many times. My hands that should be used to bless others have cursed them. My hands that should be used to offer aid have instead been deceitfully used. And yet my phone is my hand's best friend, because I have never felt that I could be worth anything otherwise. Who can find value in these hands?
These hands. They held my wife on our wedding day and pledged my dying love. They treated her softly and provided for our family. But she betrayed me, and I could not forgive her for it. We had children to raise together and to love together. But the more children we had, the further apart we grew, until our family was shattered by divorce. The woman who at one time I thought I would grow old with became the object of my disdain, my anger. I used my hands in every possible way to hurt her, to deny her custody of our children, to destroy her things, to ruin her life. Every angry exchange, I remember. Every hurtful word, I remember. And whenever I think on them, my hands go into motion. I am so bitter, so filled with anger, so disrespected, that I cannot imagine doing anything with my hands other than work to show her how horrible she is. I know that God says that we should forgive, but how can I forgive someone who has so viciously hurt me? How can I find forgiveness for others in these hands?
These hands, after thousands of years of prophecy, the word of God became flesh, and I and my hands were brought into the world. They delivered captives of sin and sickness, healed the brokenhearted, opened blind eyes, and had never committed an act that was not ordained of God. These hands were and are perfect hands, yet these perfect hands were nailed to a cross for you. For every sin, these hands bled. For every wrong action, every wrong thought, every wrong word, these hands paid the penalty. I took up your infirmities and carried your sorrows. I was stricken, smitten, and afflicted. I was pierced for your transgressions. I was crushed for your iniquity. Yet had the enemy known what was to come, he would have never influenced my crucifixion. I hung on that cross, hands blue and bloody and disfigured, life slowly slipping away. Focused not on my affliction, but on you being free. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. I asked, still thinking of you, your addictions, your greed and malice, poor self-esteem and unforgiveness were placed on me. Stained my hands with the grime of sin. A bottomless void filled my heart, breaking it apart. My Father, whose holiness cannot dwell with sin, turned his back on me. In despair that day I cried out to him, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? But he did not answer. I had never spoken to him without hearing a response or sensing his presence before. Yet it pleased my Father to make me, who knew no sin, a sinner on your behalf, so you could be made the righteousness of God in me. I was alone when I shunned no one, beaten when I had struck no blow, and discarded like useless garbage. When I had walked on streets of gold, I cried out with my last breath, it is finished, and surrendered my spirit. My lifeless body and hands were removed from the cross and buried behind a stone. My soul was assigned a grave with the wicked. For 3 days, I was tormented, disgraced, and rejected, alone, in excruciating agony. But on the third day, the demands of sin had been met, and these hands received strength from the Holy Ghost, a strength more powerful than sickness, poverty, sin, and spiritual death, a strength so infinitely powerful that it defeated death, hell, and the grave, and rose me up. Now these hands bring forgiveness, deliverance, freedom from guilt and shame, and make you priceless. These hands have redeemed you. These hands have made you mine and set you free. Not because of anything you could ever do to deserve it, but simply because I love you. And my love has no strings attached. My love breaks every chain. My love makes you somebody. Put your hands in mine. Follow me. Let these hands
make you new. For these hands have established you as the righteousness of God